Welcome to another episode of Critic 246. Today's topic: IDB gives Ministry of Education a questionnaire to distribute to be filled out by 11 and 12-year-old students in Barbados. And the problem is not the questionnaire, or that is a survey, but what the contents of the questionnaire is. And one of the main things of this questionnaire that is the biggest problem is that you are asking the children what are their sexual preference. You are asking the children between the two genders, which one do you like on a sexual level? You are asking children out of the two genders, how do you feel? Which one arouses you? Which one would you want to penetrate? Which one would you want to enter you? That is what you are asking 11 and 12-year-old children in Barbados through the form of a paper, or some would say that it was a digital questionnaire, meaning that they will have to do it through a device, a digital device, a computer, a tablet, or so forth. So that's where you're asking children at 12 years old, who do they like and what would they like to do sexually to them. It is a very sad day in Barbados when you come to understand that this is an external agency that would have to approach the Ministry of Education or the Prime Minister herself and tell them what they are willing to do, what they would like to do, and then you, as the government, because the Ministry of Education and the PM office is the government, and you as the government say, well, it's okay. And even after these questions are sent to you, at some point in time, someone has to do due diligence. Someone has to read these questions in its entirety and see if it is fit for 11 and 12-year-old children to view, and also for they to, quote-unquote, correctly answer them. That is what has to be done. So here we have the Ministry of Education, one tier, the Permanent Secretary, next tier, you have the Principal, next tier, you have the teachers, next tier, and no due diligence was done to see if this questionnaire was fit for 11 and 12-year-old child to do. So having seen that all of those tiers have seen or know what this questionnaire was about, they still allowed 11 and 12-year-olds in Barbados to sit down, use their cognitive skills to respond to a question asking them, what is your sexual preference? So we can comfortably say that the Ministry of Education, the Permanent Secretary of Education, the principal in these secondary schools, the teachers of these secondary schools have asked your child what is his or her sexual preference. They have asked your children, what gender do you like? What gender arouses you at 11 to 12-year-old? And if that is not a disturbing thought for you as a parent, for you as an adult, a right-thinking adult and a right-thinking parent, I don't know what else would seem normal to you. What would be right for you? What would be moral for you? Because that is one of the greatest sins that we have committed upon our children in Barbados, to allow an external entity to propose a questionnaire which asks them at 11 to 12 years what aroused them. And the question behind that, so that all of us can be on the same thought process, would you allow a stranger outside of your home, or any adult, so to speak, whether it be the uncle of your child, the grandmother of your child, any of them, Would you allow them to ask your 11 and 12-year-old child what is their sexual preference? Which gender arouses you? At 11 and 12-year-old, this is what the Ministry of Education asks our children. This is what the IDP asks our children. This is what the principal of the school asks our children. This is what the teachers involved in this questionnaire asks our children. Because if none of them have the spine to stand up and say, this is not correct. If none of them have the spine to stand up and say, I will not allow my students to be guinea pigs in this experiment. Therefore, or then, if you can't say none of the previous mentioned stuff, you have to say accountability for allowing it to happen because you did not stop it. You did not, you was not the one to whistleblow. You didn't come out to the public and say, listen, this is what is going on in our schools. This is a question that has to be proposed to the students from the IDB, the Ministry of Education, the Permanent Secretary, the principal, the teacher. None of you blew the whistle. And our children now, who were exposed to this questionnaire, have been psychologically damaged because they were asked, what is your sexual preference? Which gender arouses you? But that's what that question is asking, you know. Don't fool your foot, that's what that question is asking. So someone must take accountability. I believe someone should either be resigning some form of lawsuit, but those parents of these children that have been exposed, like lamb to the slaughter, you have to do something about it. Show your children that you care about them. Seek the legal advice that is necessary to get justice. Stop coming on the internet, commenting, talking. Do something. Do something for once, for the sake of your child. Do something. Stop letting other person say that, oh, we are passive. Oh, we don't do nothing. 9 days of talk and then nothing is the outcome. Show your children that you care about them. Seek the legal advice. Can this not be seen as sexual harassment? The entire Ministry of Education harassed your child sexually. They slept with your child unknown to you. And I saw an article where the chief education officer is trying to be corrected, but she came out and she said this also happened in June. So this is not the first time they did this to your children. This is the second time. Do something about it. Critic 246.